What's up everyone, welcome back to Workshop Rebuild. In today's episode, I'll be working on this John Deere push mower right here and I'll be getting it ready for the cutting season. In this video, I'll be sharing with you guys what I do to get machines like this running again after sitting for a long time. So this machine right here has been sitting for about 6 months. And I'm just going to really go through everything. As you guys can see, there's still debris and grass from the last cutting season, and I'll be just actually thoroughly cleaning this machine, checking the oil, taking the pull start cover off to actually clean around the cylinder and the engine housing itself, taking the carburetor off and cleaning that, and then at the end I'll be sharpening the blade and hopefully this machine will run. So let's dig into it. Some of the main parts off the push mower over here and I laid them out on this table over here. I have the carburetor that I'm going to clean thoroughly. I have the pull start cover and I have the fuel tank right here. What I will be doing right now, since the dipstick and the spark plug are still on the engine, I'm going to actually just clean everything around here, and then I'm going to flip the push mower around and start cleaning the underside where the blade is. Something on this machine that I don't really like. When I was using it last cutting season, I always check the oil before I start up machines, so I was always looking at the oil level and everything was always topped off to the full. But right here on the bottom, I noticed that the bottom seal for some reason is loose. I don't really see any excess oil in this area right here or even on the blade itself. So what I am going to do is actually just pop the engine off with these 3 bolts right here. And then I'm going to take out the seal, investigate the shaft and the seal, and see if I can reuse it. If I can't, then I'm going to get a new one and then pop that one in, and hopefully the problem is solved. And then I can really actually just clean everything up and put everything back together. So the seal is right here in my hand. I was able to pop it off without taking the engine off, and there was something really interesting which I didn't expect. I've never worked on this engine right here, and this is a single lip seal right here, and then when you look in here further in, there is actually another lip seal. So this one right here is a national seal, and I typed in that number right there, And that seal that's above this one is actually a dual lip seal. So there's one seal and then another lip, which is actually like a duster. And then whoever put this in right here added it, I guess, as a backup. But I think that's actually a good idea. So what I will be doing is taking this seal right here and cleaning it up. And then before I install it, I'll add some grease to the rubber seal itself. And around the perimeter right here, I will add a bead of Loctite. So as I push it in, it'll actually adhere to the casting of this block right here. And I will only use the blue Loctite, so that's like a thread lock. It won't be too tight in there, and if you ever need it, or if I ever need to take it apart again, I can just pop it back out. I didn't have to take the engine out to remove the seal. As you guys saw, there were two seals. I installed the bottom seal again, adding a little bit of Loctite around the perimeter of the seal, which will keep that in place. And if I ever need to take it out, it's only the blue Loctite, so that'll pop out very easily. Now moving forward, I'll work on the blade right here, and it is a little bit dull, and I don't have to get any new ones. I can just sharpen them up, and they'll be good for this cutting season. So I'll give you guys a close-up on how I sharpen these. Before I sharpen any blade at all, after a cutting season, I actually look how straight they are. So what that means is I take the blade, I get a flat surface like this table right here, or even a piece of wood, and I lay this on top of the surface, and some of the blades may have a bend to them because you hit something, if it's a rock, if it's a little stump or something down the line. This right here is only one blade, but with a bigger mower you may have 2 or 3 blades, so it is more likely that you will hit something. But this blade right here, as you guys can see, is actually very straight, and I don't have to do any modification at all. But if it were to be bent on one side up or down after hitting something, then what I would do is actually flip the blade around and get a piece of metal and actually try my best and just straighten it with a hammer on a bigger piece of metal underneath. After it's straightened out, just put it back on the table and check how straight you have it. It can differ a little bit, but the better you get it straight, the better your cut will be on the finished grass. So after the blade is straight, I can then go on and actually check what I have to do with the cutting edge itself. So I have one cutting edge on this side, and the other cutting edge is right over here. If I give you guys a close-up, there is just one angle on this cutting edge right here. It's most likely at a 30-degree angle, as you guys can see. And when I go down the cutting edge, there are some little imperfections right here from little rocks or maybe hitting a little bit of soil during the cutting season. On this one, on this side, you guys will see it a little bit better. Right here's a little imperfection, and right here, but that's no big deal. I'm just gonna follow this 30-degree angle right here with an angle grinder, and what I want to do when I use the angle grinder is lay it out like this right here, or even get a piece of board, which will make it a little bit easier, and lay it past the board just like that, and use a clamp to clamp it down tight, and like that, and now your blade won't go anywhere. When I use my angle grinder right here, I want to make sure that I have a proper disc on it. This one right here, I think is 1/8 of an inch thick, or it may be a little bit thicker. And I'm going to follow that 30-degree angle like this, and I'm going to cut towards the bottom of the cutting edge right here. And what I want to do is actually go over the surface, but I don't want to stay in one spot too long, or else I'm going to have a wavy cutting edge. I really want to just go over it and just touch it slightly, and then move as fast as possible out but still giving it an even cutting edge on that 30 degree. So that's what my goal is, to hold it on the proper angle and move it constantly towards the outside of the blade right here. So I'll give you guys an example of this side and then the other side as well. As you guys can see, I took one surface from this end towards the outside, and there is still a little bit of imperfection in the blade, like you guys can see right here and at the front. But to test the sharpness, I take my finger and I roll it down, or actually slide it down like this. And right here at the end, it's still a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna have to take off some more. But what I want to focus on is actually taking the exact same amount on the whole length to actually make the cutting edge right here parallel with the stock material right here. So I don't want to actually grind in on an angle like this. I want to always keep that cutting edge straight like this. So I'm going to go over that a couple more times and make sure that the whole cutting edge is sharp. I just finished sharpening the blade, and now I gotta be careful when I reinstall this blade that I don't cut myself, because it is very, very sharp. And now when I install the blade, I want to make sure that the cutting edge is towards the bottom of the mower. If you put it on the top, you'll have a too high cutting edge, and the lip or the bend on the blade will be very wrong. So you want to make sure that the edge is facing down. Now my main focus will be on the carburetor, and I'm just going to take everything apart and make sure that the jet and the bowl are perfectly clean, and then we'll install all these parts and fire it up for the first time. Mounting the last parts on the John Deere push mower, and now we'll go outside and start up for the first time. As you guys just saw, I got the John Deere push mower running after such a long time. Now it's ready for the cutting season, since I sharpened the blade and cleaned the carburetor and everything around the engine. I added some new fuel and I topped off the oil, and now it's really ready for the new cutting season. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please leave a comment down below. Consider subscribing if you found this video helpful, and as always, stay tuned.